can we also understand the cash flow statement with the help of the numbers or using the Excel sheet. And here we are, using the Excel sheet we will try and learn the cash flow statement also, and so that there is a total clarity, about the cash flow statement. And this is how your cash flow statement would look at. So let me, I hope it is visible to every one of you. Everyone, please, anyone can confirm.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, visible, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So remember, so this is where, this is how it starts from. It starts from the current operating income. Current operating income would mean the sales minus cost of sales and the SG&A. That is your current operating income. From the in the current operating income, we will add the amount of depreciation and amortization, and we will deduct the amount of tax. And so when we and we will also add the provisions. I'm sure you will remember, why do we add provisions? We add provisions because in our business we make provisions for certain expenses which are going to be incurred in future and not today, but we are making them provisions. So that means what? That means provisions are the expenses that we book on provisional basis. Money is not going out, but we are booking those expenses, and that is why they are known as provision. So all these provisions that we make in our business, there is no outflow on account of that, and that is why we also add the depre we also add the provisions. So once we make all these adjustments to the amount of current operating income, we make adjustment for depreciation, amortization, provisions, and the income tax. What we get in our hand is known as operating cash flow, and no rocket science. Why it is known as operating cash flow? Because this is the cash flow which is getting generated in our
From
business.
operations.
Yeah, this is the cash flow which is getting generated from the operations of our business, and that is why it is known as operating cash flow. Now remember, having calculated the operating cash flow, now we are interested in finding out what is the current free operating cash flow. And to just recollect for the benefit of every one of you, what is the meaning of free cash flow? The meaning of free cash flow is cash which is available in our hands, which we can use freely for anything that we want to use it for. And therefore, what we need to do, we make certain adjustment to the figure of operating cash flow. And what adjustments do we make to the figure of operating cash flow? The first adjustment that we make is investment in capital expenditure. So please remember, I have generated operating cash flow of 890 million euros, right? Now, during this whole year of 2021, what must have happened? I must have spent some money on routine capital expenditure. So let's say I've spent 300 million euros on routine capital expenditure. That means what? That means even though I am generating 890 million euros as my operating cash flow, 300 million euros have already been consumed by me in my business in the routine capital expenditure. That means these 300 million euros are not available to me. So what is available to me is 890 million euros minus 300 million euros. That is one adjustment. Then we make the adjustment for revenue for fixed assets disposal. So it is possible in our business sometimes certain assets become dysfunctional. So they are not available for the purpose of operation. Or because of technology, we would like to sell an old asset and get money from that asset. So if there is any something of this kind happening, then we have to make that adjustment also to the figure of operating cash flow. And why do we need to make that adjustment? Because in this case, I have sold assets worth 150 million euros. So since I have sold assets 150 million euros, that means so much of cash has come in my hand. So what is the cash which is available in my hand? Is 890 million euros minus 300 million euros, that is the routine capital expenditure that I have incurred, plus 150 million euros which I have got from the sale of the assets. Having done that, we make adjustment for changes in the working capital also. And what are the adjustments that we make for the changes in working capital? So in case if my inventory has gone up, that means so much of money I have consumed already. If my receivables have gone up, that means so much of money I have consumed already, or vice versa. So if my inventory has come down by, let's say, 100 million euros, that means what? That means I have got 100 million euros available in my hand as cash in addition to my operating cash flow. So what are the adjustments that in this example we are making? So you can see variation in the trade receivable. That means my receivables have decreased by 200 million euros. That means what? That means now I have got 200 million euros free as cash from my receivable. That means I have got 200 million euros available in my hand as cash because I have been able to bring my receivables down. Likewise, in case of inventory, it has gone up by 150 million euros. That means what? That means the operating cash flow that I have generated from my business, out of that operating cash flow, 150 million euros have got consumed in the inventory. That means so much of my inventory has gone up. That means so much of my money has got locked up in the inventory. And then the third component is trade payable. So my trade payables have increased. So increase in the trade payable, remember, is a source of fund. So my payables have increased by 100 million euros. That means I have got 100 million euros of cash available in my business. So this figure, when you make all these adjustments, incidentally it is coming to 890, and this is, remember, just incidentally. It is not that every time as a rule it will happen that after making all the adjustments you will get the figure of current free operating cash flow which is going to be same as the operating cash flow. It's not going to be so every time. This is just to make you more aware about it. I have taken it that way. Again, you will make two more adjustments to the figure of current free operating cash flow. So what are the adjustments that you would make to the figure of current free operating cash flow? You will make the adjustment for the financial expenses. As somebody was saying a little while ago, remember, financial expenses are financial expenses, they are not operating expenses. Since they are not operating expenses, that is why they are recorded separately. So we will deduct the financial expenses. That means whatever interest cost that I am earning in my business, I will deduct it from the current free operating cash flow. And likewise, in case if I am earning something, some income by way of interest, that also I will add to my current free cash flow. And what I will get in the bottom in my hand is my current free cash flow. So this figure of $840 million, which is my current free cash flow. Now what does it mean? It means taking into account everything, I have got 840 million euros available in my hand that I can use for any purpose that I want to use it for. So this is how, friends, you will compute and calculate different components of the cash flow and ultimately arrive at the figure of your current free cash flow which is in your hand, which you can use for any purpose that you want to use it for.